The idea that you could depart from life at any moment, as Marx profoundly suggests, should be a guiding principle in how you approach your thoughts, actions, and beliefs. This understanding of life's fleeting nature can be a powerful motivator, encouraging you to make the most of every moment and live with purpose and intention. It's this mindset that made Marcus Aurelius, the Roman Emperor and Stoic philosopher, one of the most fascinating and inspiring figures in history. In a world where absolute power often leads to corruption, Marcus Aurelius stands as a shining example of the opposite. Born to a family without royal lineage, Marcus was handpicked for leadership at a young age, around the same time Nero was coming into power. He was carefully groomed and prepared for his future role as emperor, learning not only the skills necessary to rule, but also the principles of Stoic philosophy that would guide his reign. When Marcus Aurelius finally ascended to the position of emperor, he took an unexpected step. Instead of consolidating power for himself, he chose to share it with his brother, Lucius Verus. This decision demonstrated his commitment to the Stoic principle of virtue and the greater good, rather than self-interest and personal gain. Marcus's choice to share power with his sibling is a testament to his character and his devotion to the principles he held dear. It showcases his understanding of the importance of collaboration, fairness, and shared responsibility in leadership. Marcus believed that the well-being of the empire and its people was more important than his own personal ambitions or desires, setting an example for leaders throughout history to follow. In today's episode, I want to share some of my favorite lessons from the one and only Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king. If you're interested in learning about the fundamental principles and concepts that this man lived by, this video is perfect for you. One of my favorite stories about Marcus Aurelius takes place during the darkest days of the Antonine Plague, a terrible pandemic that claimed the lives of millions. This devastating disease swept through Rome, leaving the city's economy in shambles, people dying in the streets, and a pervasive sense of despair hanging in the air. It felt as if things could not possibly improve, and the citizens of Rome were losing hope. In the midst of this overwhelming crisis, Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, chose to take decisive action. Rather than retreating to the comforts of his palace, or turning a blind eye to the suffering of his people, Marcus Aurelius took it upon himself to set an example of selflessness and compassion. For 2 months, he strolled through the imperial palace, marking items for sale, from luxurious jewels, elegant robes, and opulent couches, to other extravagances that had once adorned the halls of power. Then, he organized an auction on the palace lawn, offering these symbols of wealth and excess to the highest bidder. Through this act, Marcus Aurelius sent a powerful message to his people. He would not prioritize himself, or cling to the trappings of power in the face of such widespread suffering. Instead, he chose to focus on the small things that could make a difference in the lives of his citizens, demonstrating his commitment to their well-being and the greater good of Rome. This is akin to the CEO who takes a pay cut during tough economic times, or the athlete who renegotiates their contract to allow the team to recruit new talent. This is the leader who puts the needs and well-being of the people before their own comfort and desires. This is what true greatness looks like, and that's why I love this story about Marcus. You're not trapped. It may seem that way, but the Stoics want you to know that while one path may be closed, another remains open. The obstacle to action promotes action. Whatever stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus isn't claiming that nothing can ever stop you. He's saying that when one path is blocked, other avenues remain open to you. You always have the opportunity to practice virtue, excellence, and change in some form or another. Based on what has happened, we don't control the situation, we control how we react. That's the essence of Stoic philosophy. So yes, one path may be closed, a door may be shut, but a window remains open. People may stand in your way, block you, or prevent you from achieving something, but they cannot stop you from being patient or practicing forgiveness. They can't stop you from pursuing a different direction, changing your mind, trying something new, or growing and learning from the experience. The Stoics say no one can prevent us from adapting, accommodating, changing, and integrating the experiences and obstacles that lie in our path, transforming them into new opportunities. That's the true meaning of the obstacle is the way. It's impossible to become truly stuck because we always maintain the ability to choose and change. We know what we need to do, right? We have the information. The problem lies in taking action. Marcus Aurelius says you could be good today, but you choose tomorrow. We procrastinate. We tell ourselves we'll start the diet, write the novel, or clean the house tomorrow, not today. If it were merely about information, no one would struggle with weight or health issues. Everyone would have toned bodies, and every project would be completed. We know how to do it, but we don't take the necessary steps. That's why the Stoics emphasize the discipline of action. At the end of the day, it's all about what you do, not what you say or think. What action will you take? What step will you pursue? Ultimately, that's how things get accomplished, one step at a time. Just take the first step. Marcus reminds us that no one can prevent us from doing that. It requires a tremendous amount of self-awareness to recognize that we feel discomfort or anxiety due to certain factors. I discovered this during the pandemic when I suddenly wasn't as busy as before. I wasn't rushing to catch a flight or stuck in traffic. I didn't have to prepare for one event after another. You might think that my anxiety levels would have decreased significantly, but that wasn't the case. It made me realize that anxiety had nothing to do with any specific situation. Marcus Aurelius discusses this in his Meditations. He says he discarded anxiety because it was within him, not because it was a result of external circumstances. This realization was a breakthrough for me. I thought my stress and anxiety were caused by various aspects of life, work, family, and other obligations. But when those factors were reduced, I recognized that the true source of anxiety was within me. Marcus Aurelius had a better morning routine than most of us, I guarantee it. He woke up early, even though he didn't want to and wasn't obligated to. He asked himself whether he was made to lie in bed, keeping warm under the covers, or to fulfill the duties of a human being. So he got up early and began his work. What was the first thing he did? I believe he sat down with his journal. His meditations have survived because they are the private thoughts of the most powerful man in the world. He wrote down these ideas to improve himself. And then what did he do? He focused on his most important task of the day. He advised concentrating like a Roman and completing tasks as if they were the last things you would do in your life. Marcus Aurelius's morning routine set him up for success. He didn't approach the day haphazardly, but understood that a strong beginning was half the battle. You should also start your day with a morning routine that empowers you to take control from the very beginning. This is self-discipline. You are the one who signed up for it. Your learning, study, and self-improvement must be applied solely to yourself. Marcus Aurelius emphasizes being tolerant of others while being strict with yourself. The purpose of all this is to become a better master of yourself, not to be condescending, patronizing, or controlling towards others. It's called self-discipline for a reason. It's discipline over oneself. Allow others the freedom to make their own mistakes and follow their paths. Marcus Aurelius wasn't particularly fond of people. Reading Meditations, this becomes apparent. He starts with a meditation on the frustrations and annoyances presented by others. Even the concept of the obstacle is the way is about dealing with other people and their obstacles. But Marcus sees an opportunity to practice the philosophy he holds dear in the face of these challenges. In spite of other people's difficulties, one can practice justice, temperance, and courage. For the Stoics, people can be frustrating and present obstacles, but they also provide the chance to grow and improve. Don't resent people. Use them as an opportunity to become a better person. We're all busy, but how much of what keeps us occupied truly matters? Marcus Aurelius advises questioning whether everything we do and say is essential. He argues that most of what we do and say is not essential. Many of our actions are driven by others' requests or expectations, or because that's how we've always done things. But do we genuinely need to do them? If we found out we were dying tomorrow, would we continue with these tasks? Would we approach them the same way? Highly unlikely. By asking ourselves, is this essential? We can eliminate much of what we don't need to be doing. As a result, we're left with fewer tasks, allowing us to focus on what truly matters and perform those tasks better. That's the reason for posing this question. To determine what is essential and ensure we're doing it the right way. Reflect on this question for everything you do, say, and think. Amor Fati. Embrace the idea that events don't happen to you. They happen for you. Accept and cherish your fate. Turn adversity into opportunity, just as a fire consumes everything and shines brightly. That's the essence of Amor Fati. Focus on others. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that the fruits of life are good character and acts for the common good. Stoicism isn't about studying philosophy to gain personal advantages or wealth. It's about how we contribute to our communities, countries, and the advancement of humanity. Memento Mori. Remember, you could leave life right now. As Marcus Aurelius suggests, Let that awareness guide what you do, say, and think. Life is short, so approach everything as if it were the last thought or action of a dying person. Embrace the fragility of life and seize the day while you still can. By considering these principles and integrating them into your daily life, you'll be able to lead a more purposeful, intentional, and fulfilling existence. The wisdom of Marcus Aurelius has withstood the test of time, offering valuable insights into the human condition and guiding us towards a better understanding of ourselves and the world around us.